With my first pregnancy, I was not in a healthy relationship. We had been together at that point for basically 10 years. It was very on and off. I met him when I was 13. We started dating right before I turned 14. And by the time I turned 15, the relationship became very physically abusive. I wasn't allowed to leave my home unless I left with him. If I did, there was consequences. I was forced to drop out of high school, and I had just recently moved back in with my ex-boyfriend. We had just spent about 9 months apart. And within about 2 weeks of being back together was when I found out that I was pregnant. So I figured if I run away, have the baby away, give the baby up, close the adoption, no one will ever know. That baby will have a happy, healthy life. A family that can't have their own baby will be able to love this child. Everything will be great. And then I had some guilt, and I was like, well, I should probably tell the father of the child. So I was at work one day on my break, and I called him, and he was like, okay, cool, you're getting an abortion. At that time, he had my car keys, he had my wallet, he had my cell phone. I wasn't really allowed to leave the house, and he even called and made the appointment himself. If you don't do this, I will make sure that baby doesn't survive. I basically got to the point where I realized it was either that baby's life or my own. So we got up that morning, we went to the appointment, and I still had it in the back of my mind that I was just gonna pretend that I did whatever was gonna happen in there and then still run away. The doctor sits in the room and she sets down the pill and she's like, I cannot leave this room until I watch you swallow it. And I panicked. I was like, oh, I have to literally swallow this pill and then lose my baby. So I did it because I was like, well, I can't leave this room. So that first plan went out the window. So I swallowed it, and as soon as we got home, I was like, there has to be a way to reverse what I just did. So I started Googling on my phone because I had done what he wanted. I got my phone back. And I called, there's a hotline, which I didn't even know was a thing. So I left, I went to the pharmacy, got the progesterone, and did exactly what it said, but it was already too late. The baby had already been lost. The moment he left to go to work, I called my best friend that I had known since 8th grade. I need you to come here, help me pack up my stuff, because I need to leave. If not, I probably will end up dead one day. And she came over and I moved all my stuff back into my parents'. We were at Wright State for Fall Fest, I think it was 2 years ago. And we just walked by a booth, and one of the girls at the booth, she was like, oh, hey, can you just take a pamphlet? I just happened to see it one day at home, and I opened it up and was looking over the different things. It said abortion and miscarriages. A lot of the things in my life I was struggling from was from not grieving and walking through the anger and all of that whole situation. I learned how gracious our God is and how loving and how much he cares for us. And then as I was reading through the verses, I remember being in a coffee shop and I just broke down and cried. And I was like, only our God in heaven could have that type of love and genuine kindness for someone who's gone through something so terrible. I cannot say thank you enough. The amount of healing that I've had in my life, just from going through the therapy here, has been incredible. I've been able to love my kids deeper than I ever imagined. And that would not have been possible without your donations. Thank you.